Hi, I'm Josh Curry, and welcome to another Death Battle prediction video. But first, Edward Elric versus Aang. Basically, this one went pretty much exactly as I had kind of mentioned it in my previous prediction. So there's not too much to talk about from a research standpoint. Once again, I kind of really like the fact that they have like the generally accepted like statements as to how strong they are in the episode itself, but then they usually have a lot of the like higher end or like somewhat more tenuous, from a general perspective at least, feats that are in the like sidebar things that like pop up after the fight. Those are usually pretty good. They usually address a lot of the feats that I find are often overlooked by a lot of other death battles. So not too much to go on there. The animation was actually really good. Basically, my biggest problem with the fight actually came down to the end of the fight itself. So Aang is a pacifist. We knew going in that this fight was going to have to end in death. A lot of people actually were regarding this one as being one of the like very few fights that like an accidental or like collateral damage death would be fitting for. So it was weird to see Aang just kind of schmutz him right out the gate with the Avatar state. And then the line that he said afterwards kind of bothered me, which is that he was left with no choice. But biggest thing with that is that the entire like the last third of the final season of Avatar, that was basically what was happening, is people were hitting Aang with the fact that you have no choice, you have to kill the Fire Lord. And the thing that he always would say in response to that is there is always a choice. So basically, I kind of had an issue with him saying the line quite like that. They might have had a better line that they could have picked for that. As for the next one, Ghost Rider versus Lobo. This is another one of the Marvel versus DC death battles that I'm pretty fine with. I see it, and a lot of the times when it is a Marvel versus DC fight, I do kind of go along the lines of, ugh, another Marvel versus DC fight. My big issue mostly being regarding like crazy research that would be involved, and how kind of a lot of the time it kind of results in the same general scaling. But this one's pretty unique. I think it would probably be easiest to kind of just skip right by a lot of the pretense stuff, because I kind of don't have too much time for my video right now. It is fairly late, and I don't want to annoy the hell out of my neighbors, but these two can't actually kill each other with a lot of their standard stuff. Lobo, for the most part, does not have very much hacks. He is more just crazy stats, and then his crazy broken regen, which, like, when he bleeds, it, like, turns into more Lobos, which is just a wild ride. But the most hacks that I think he does have, in terms of, like, other than, like, fourth wall awareness and his regen, is basically that he is able to hit ghosts. But that's not gonna really do enough here, because both Ghost Rider and Lobo both have completely crazy regens that can pretty much bring them back from pretty well anything. Physical attacks just aren't gonna do it here. And then on the other hand, Ghost Rider himself doesn't really have the stats to completely get rid of Lobo all in one, which is where things like the Penance Stare, Zarathos, and Spirit of Vengeance come in. So those three things are kind of the wild cards in this fight. So the Penance Stare is one of the most inconsistently written abilities in all of comics ever. So its description is basically that the person, when looking into Ghost Rider's eyes, feels all the pain that they have inflicted on others. So the comic book writers have no fucking idea how to write this and constantly fuck it up. So you get people like the Punisher, who is able to shrug off the Penance Stare because he didn't regret it, which has nothing to do with it. Or it didn't work on Captain Marvel because she says that she's already repented for what she's done. That's not how it works. So it's kind of going to really be about how Death Battle themselves regards that ability. That said, Lobo has gone into hell and has his soul directly attacked. So it is possible that the penance there might not even be enough. But that's where things like Zarathos and the Spirit of Vengeance come in. They will be more than enough to probably take down Lobo. Zarathos is slightly questionable if it'll be strong enough. Spirit of Vengeance definitely would be enough if it's included. We know Zarathos is going to be involved in the fight, as the previews did make mention of that. So it would kind of be like a Dr. Fate versus Doctor Strange situation, with how Dr. Fate had Nabu, I think it was, basically helping out there. So Zarathos is going to be involved. That might be enough, because at the peak of Zarathos' power, he's been able to go toe-to-toe with people like Mephisto, Galactus, just a lot of the really big Marvel heavy hitters. And with the fact that Lobo can't really put down Ghost Rider, it is kind of just a matter of if those things are going to be enough to sway it. And I think they will. So we're kind of looking at a situation where it's either going to be a tie, which would be shocking, I'd be very surprised, or Ghost Rider wins, which will be a happy day because everyone's down with seeing the DC streak come to an end finally. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say on this one. It's a pretty interesting match, especially because a lot of the physical stats really don't matter for the most part. It does kind of just come down to how this like Soul Hax is interacting with Lobo. So I will see you guys after the next one, which is, I think we actually do know, it is Mechagodzilla versus the Megazord, I think, or Dragonzord, I think. We'll see when it gets announced. Overall, not looking too forward to that one, but what can you say? Alright, you guys have yourselves a great one.